Hey guys, welcome back to the first new episode of Street News. My name is Langston. I'm very happy to be here with you guys. The channel focus necessarily isn't going to change too much. I'm just going to more focus on trying to hold politicians accountable and getting news clips from you guys or just wherever I can find them to try and make a point or to show what's going on in the world. So today's episode is going to be about, are we losing free speech, or where all of a sudden did this free speech debate come from both sides? How long back does it go? And what can we do about it? All right, so the first video we're going to get into is this MSNBC video where they're talking about the failures of the Trump administration and their work on free speech. Then we're going to listen to this, talk about what Pam Bondi said, and then look at the past and see just where free speech was infringed on in the past. So let's get into it.
Trump administration is clearly on defense now over these proven attacks on free speech and confessions, admissions of improper motive by senior officials. The New York Times reporting there are now these measures to silence opponents that the White House wants to pursue. That would be un-American, full stop, but probably unconstitutional. We will see exactly what they try to do. But that Trump is pursuing them by invoking Kirk's killing. Tonight, there are clues about a new order Trump may push that would try to curb free speech. So this anti-speech agenda continues even as AG Bondi backtracked after admitting what I just mentioned, an unconstitutional goal of the government.
I wanted to stop it right there because I will say I did not agree with what Pam Bondi said. I haven't really agreed with much of what Pam Bondi has been doing. I thought she was going to do a much better job, but she still has more years to come to see if she can turn that around. But for now, I'm been a little skeptical, especially with the lack of transparency within the department.
Targeting free speech because they deem it offensive or they deem it hate speech. It's been a theme across this administration.
We will absolutely target you, go after you if you are targeting anyone with hate speech, anything. And that's across the aisle.
We'll probably go after people like you because you treat me so unfairly. It's hate. You have a lot of hate in your heart.
To the extent that it's part of an organized effort to inflict.
See, I think it gets to a slippery slope when we say we're going to start going after people for hate speech, because in my eyes, it's subjective. You could say something to me I find hateful, but you don't find it hateful, and it could be vice versa. So whoever's in power has the right to prosecute. And that's the point to this video that we'll get to.
Harm and terror and damage to the United States, there's potential investigations there.
You just heard from the AG, the deputy AG, and the president. Two of those three people described illegal or unlawful goals for the government targeting speech. The final one, you'll notice, was worded more carefully, a reference to speech that might actually lead to violence. And if you get up to violence or right near it, as I'll explain, then yes, that's different. But Bondi was facing fact checks and a backlash from really all sides of the spectrum over her completely wrong claim that I just played for you. Murdoch's Wall Street Journal hitting a point we actually reported when we first heard Bondi's remarks, that she has now failed her First Amendment test in public, flat on her face. Now, that's also bad because this is the person who's supposed to uphold the First Amendment and the rest of the Constitution as the leader of the Justice Department.
So given what you just saw right there, I want to show you a few things that the Biden administration did that people didn't necessarily want to say was true, and things that the left has done that really infringed on free speech. So we can get into here. Right now we're on the Judiciary House website, and it says right here, Google admits censorship under Biden, promises to end bans of YouTube accounts of thousands of Americans censored for free speech. Now, when we think about that, that goes really deep. These people, they're upset over words Trump has said, but he hasn't censored anyone. You can get upset that he says he doesn't like people online, but he hasn't gone and censored people. Conservatives on YouTube or almost any other platform owned by Silicon Valley were all censored. They were all censored. Let's look at this right here. Mark Zuckerberg says Meta was pressured by Biden administration to censor COVID-related content in 2021. And it also wasn't just stopped there at COVID. They also pressured anyone to censor anyone who didn't believe the election was fair and not stolen. They wouldn't even allow the conversation. So when it comes to saying free speech, it's just a little, I don't see why they're sitting here acting outraged. This already happened. One more thing I want to look at while we're here. Let's go over to this right here. SB 771, a California bill that just passed in the Senate, holding social media platforms to liabilities for civil rights violations or hate speech. But the thing is, at the end of the day, who gets to decide what is hate speech? Who gets to decide what speech is? In order to speak, you have to risk being offensive. It's just when things are calling towards violence, I would call that a form of hate speech. But it's just, I feel like we're going down a slippery slope here. But my take in the end is that you have to be able to speak and you have to risk being able to be offensive, because the censoring going on, I would say, was more on the left than the right. They can be upset about what just happened with Kimmel, but there's no evidence of organized government intervention in that. So we're just going down a slippery slope. I just don't like how the media is trying to portray that, oh, this is a thing on the right. And it's a common thing with this administration. We just spent the last, 8 years having conservative or any other people's speech that the left didn't like be censored or shamed on. Being shamed on for your speech is fine, but it's just the censoring part. That wasn't okay. So the outrage now, they should have had the same outrage then. So it kind of falls like it's just a performance, like they don't care. It's because they're not in power. So we'll just keep an eye on it going forward. But free speech has not been free speech lately in this country, I will say.